Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is week 13 of my doing 100 weeks of YouTube videos and focusing on having a healthy, happy life, or living a healthy, happy life. There we go. Focusing on living a healthy and happy life. Not that I'm healthy or happy every day. I'm just trying to make healthy and happy choices every day, and some days I'm really good at that, and some days not so much. So this past week I was praying to do all of my goals. I'm like, I just want to do all of them every day for a whole week. And I probably lasted 2 days. I'm gonna be honest. I did do really good, better this week than I've done in a long time. So I'm very proud of myself for that. I just maybe didn't do everything that I wanted to do, but I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because I know I'm not perfect and I know change takes time. It's a process. But I am working on it and I'm grateful for that. So I'm going to start with my lovely little list of things. I've got the backside first. Cool. Mental. I'm so excited about this one. Okay. Because mental is to read books, work on my own books. I did actually work on my books this week. I have Lanoy and the Teachers of Powers, and I actually rewrote it in 3 days. Maybe 3 or 4 days. But, and not that I rewrote the entire thing. I have to clarify that. I did revisions on it. So I made a lot of revisions in the first 4 chapters. It took me 2 or 3 hours in one day to go through the first 4 chapters. And then the next day, I think I spent 2 hours and I got through 10 chapters. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's a short story. It's on my Word document, it's 83 to 86 pages. I think it was 83, and then I made some changes to it, and so it ended up being 84 or 86. I don't remember pages. I'm not sure when you upload it in book format, when it's actually put into a book. I think it kind of doubles the number of pages, so it'd probably be 160 page book. But it's still kind of a short story. It doesn't qualify as a short story. It's too long to be a short story, so it kind of qualify as a novella or something, something like that, I think. But anyway, I didn't really have to make any more major changes. I made some minor changes, adjustments, added a sentence, took out a sentence, fixed a word or something here or there for the 10 chapters that I did, which is probably why I got through it in 2 hours. I'm also usually a really slow reader, so I'm amazed that I got through it as much as I did. And then the last 4 or 5 chapters, I was oh, I don't know what the heck I was thinking when I wrote this. I mean, some of it I understood what I was thinking, and some of it I was just okay, this doesn't make sense, or this is out of context, and I had to add, I had to add a lot of things or take out some things, so I had to make a lot of revisions to the end of it. So it did take me a lot longer to do the last 4 chapters, another 3-4 hours to do 4 chapters. But I did it, and I was very proud of myself. And then I sent it to my editing friend, and I hope she's actually going to edit it. We'll see what happens. So, but I feel pretty good about myself because I was coming up with ideas, and I have ideas for my other books to be looking at and looking over. I did actually look at The Wise One, considered possibly changing the name of that to The Forbidden Room. I have not decided yet. So my title is kind of wishy-washy now. I had it all solidified and now it's wishy-washy, but I did get through the first 7 chapters. I started chapter 8, and then I don't know, I got distracted, had other things to do, and I was just okay, brain is done. And I did come up with some ideas of some things I need to go back and fix in chapter 5, and things that I want to fix in chapter 8 or 9. I don't know. I haven't got that far yet, but I remember stuff that I wrote, and I remember something I want to change and stuff, but I haven't got to that part as far as reviewing it. And chapter 5, I think I've had a lot of issues with chapter 5, the end of chapter 5, and I've never quite been able to figure out how to get it so that the reader understands what I'm thinking. And it finally dawned on me on Saturday that the reason it's not working is because it's not age appropriate for my characters. It's fine for the readers, whatever, but it's just that the characters, I'm giving them emotions and understanding of things that are beyond their age of understanding. So my characters are really little, and I'm making them respond like they're adults, and I don't think they understand on an adult level. So I need to change it. I think that's why it's not coming off, is because I'm writing as an adult and not as a kid, and the characters are kids, so they have to respond as kids. And so I need to change the end of the chapter to make it more make it so that it's like coming from a kid's point of view instead of an adult's point of view. And I think then it will flow and it will make sense. So, which is also something that I wanted to change in the later chapters, because the main character is still a kid and I've got her doing grown-up things. And I'm like, grown-ups would not let a kid do that, especially like in her situation. So, yeah, much as she wants to try to do all of that stuff at that age, she's not going to be allowed to do all that stuff at that age. Because that's kind of, where kids think that they're old enough to do stuff and they try to do things and then they just, mess things up. And so they're not allowed to do things. Try not to give away spoiler alerts to my stories. I'm really good at doing that. I can just ramble forever. But I'm very proud of myself, because usually for my weekly videos, I haven't done a lot of mental anything. And so this week I have done some mental things, and I'm very proud of myself for that. So yay for doing some mental things. Financially, not so much. I did ask the church for some help because I'm out of money to help pay with my bills. And they're like, well, help pay like half your rent and then you're on your own. And I'm like, fabulous. I don't have money to pay any of my rent, but okay. So I have been applying for jobs this week as well. I only spent like 2 days, but I applied for like 10 or 15 jobs. So I feel pretty good about myself for doing that. I need to spend more time applying for jobs. The only problem is I don't as of yet have a job, I don't as of yet have an income, and I don't have any more money. So I'm not really sure how my finances are going to work this month. So that's going to be fun. So that's what I did with my finances. They kind of suck right now, but that's my fault for just ignoring them for this entire time. I'm really good at that too. So, socially, I think I did okay. I went to church. Yay. I went to family dinner, had a friend that was in town. My Texas friend was in town and visiting, so she was at family dinner. I did go to the temple on Tuesday and on Saturday, and I got some text from some people, and I got a text from somebody asking me to cover their shift on Tuesday at the temple. So I'm like, okay, sure. So I was responding to phone calls and reaching out to people, but I haven't reached out to like everybody. I did reach out to one of my vision board friend, to see how she was doing, and she actually came over and visited with me this past week too. So I got to like hang out with a friend and just hang out and have fun. And it wasn't because I needed to ride somewhere, I needed to do anything. It was just to kind of hang out and chat. And it was, it was short, half hour, whatever, but it was nice. So I'm grateful that I got to do things like that. So I'm like, yay, that was fun. Not that I've been the best at that. I mean, I've done some Marco Polo videos I sent to some people and haven't got responses back. My sister-in-law and my someone else, and not a response back. So I'm like, okay, oh well, whatever. Just whatever. Emotionally, this week, I have made videos, I think, every day this week. So I'm very proud of myself for that, making my videos again. That's a good thing. That helps me pay attention to what's going on in my life. It helps me to process some of my emotions. It helps me to feel like I'm helping other people. Not that very many people are watching my videos, but I like to think that it's going to help somebody at some point. Plus, I've been journaling every day this week. I am so proud of myself for that too. I actually filled up my journal. It's full, and I'm like, yay! I filled it up. I haven't done that in a really long time, and I filled it up in a month. So less than a month. So I was like, yay! Usually when I journal on a regular basis, I fill up a journal every month, and I need a new one once a month. And depending on the size of the journals, I have to get, depending on the size of the journal, sometimes I fill up more than one journal in a month. So also depending on how emotional and crazy my month has been will also determine how quickly I fill up a journal. But I filled up a journal in a month, and it's been a long time since I've actually written consistently enough to fill up a journal that quickly. So I'm very proud of myself for that as well. So also emotionally, I did do a couple of sections in my grief book, the Al-Anon book. I can't remember, something about opening our hearts and healing our losses, I think is what it's called. It's an Al-Anon book on grief. And so I've been sharing that with my Al-Anon friend, Jay. She gave me a ride to the Al-Anon meeting, so I went to my 12-step meeting, and so I did that. And then I was able to share, and our 12-step meeting, I ended up leading the meeting, and I just said, let's do it on grief. Let's do the topic on grief, because I'm just dealing with a lot of grief right now, especially since my sponsor friend passed away. And so a lot of people in my Al-Anon, my 12-step program know who she is, and are, talking about the situation and just remembering her. And it was kind of nice. Wasn't a large group, but a couple of people that were there also knew my sponsor friend, and they shared memories of my sponsor friend, and it was really sweet and it was really nice. And I was just really grateful to be there and to have that experience. So I was like, yay, this is good. So a lot of emotional things that instead of burying, I have been trying to deal with. I have cried a couple of times this past week. Thinking about that makes me want to cry right now. I'm sorry. I know I don't need to apologize for crying. I'm learning that, but I did let myself cry. I told myself the other day that I could cry, and it was okay to cry for as long as I needed to cry, and it was okay, and I could cry. So I am grateful that I can do that as well. So I am dealing with my emotions. It doesn't mean I like my emotions. It doesn't mean I know what I'm doing with all of them. But I am trying to deal with them. I am trying to face them. I am trying to feel them. I am trying to just be gentle with myself when I am having all of these emotions, and knowing that I need to let them out of my system. So I think emotionally I have been not 100% facing all of my emotions, and definitely not on a daily basis, and definitely just doing like I did in the video and just like, I'm going to hold back the tears because I don't like crying. But I am grateful for the days and the moments when I have just let myself cry. So I think that was yesterday, actually. Might need to do that again today. We'll see. And then spiritually, obviously, my YouTube videos for the week are focusing on recognizing God's hand in my life. So I think that has given me a boost. And I've read my scriptures and meditationals every day this week, and praying to see myself the way that God sees me, or asking to know what I need to know in my life, and just feeling very grateful and blessed and motivated to do things that I needed to get done this week, and just very grateful for that. And like I said, gone to the temple, did my service on Tuesday night and Saturday, and went to church, and it was amazing. Even people offered me rides to and from church. It was fantastic. I'm walking, I get down the street, almost to the end of the street, and it's like 3 blocks away. So I walked almost a whole block, and somebody's like, want a ride? And I'm like, sure, I'll take a ride. I don't even think I got a block away from church on the way home when somebody stopped and gave me a ride. I'm like, sweet. They stopped right in the middle of an intersection to pick me up. I'm like, that's awesome. I love it. So that is fantastic, and I am grateful for that. Physically, I actually forgot that was on there. Physically, I did exercise 3 times this week. I did Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. I don't know why those days. I just did those days. But I did exercise, and I'm grateful for that. I've also been trying to do some of my physical therapy at home. I think I only did it on Monday and Tuesday, but I finally got approved for physical therapy. So my first physical therapy session was on Friday. Back to doing that, dealing with the vertigo and the dizzy spells and all of that. And I gotta say, I do not like that. I told the therapist, I was like, I know this is helping me and that's why I'm doing it, but I do not like the process, because they literally make you like way dizzier than I would normally be, like the little waves of dizzy spells going on in my head and the vertigo and all of that stuff. And it's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to make you dizzy, and then let me know when the dizziness stops and we'll do it again. And I'm like, fantastic. And at the end, it does shift things. It moves things around. But then I just have a really hard time for a couple of days afterwards, just when my brain and my head kind of adjust to wherever they've moved things. And eventually it will get everything back where it's supposed to be, so I won't keep having all the dizzy spells and all of that other stuff. So looking forward to that part, to being whole on the other side. Just don't like the process. Kind of relates to all of my emotional stuff and everything else in my life. I'm like, I'm looking forward to the other side, and I'm doing all of this stuff because I know it's going to get me where I want to go. I just don't necessarily like the process. I think that may be true of everyone and everything. And even this learning to live healthy and happy, and learning to eat healthier foods and making foods at home so that I can't eat junk food, and being pissed off at my scale because I exercise and then I gain weight. I think it's because muscle weighs more than fat and my body's still trying to decide what the heck it's doing. I don't know. But I'm like, now I'm back up to 252 pounds again. And I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I want to be under 250. I want to get down to, my goal is like 140, between 140 and 150. So I'm like, and I, started out at 270. So I'm like, I lost the 20 pounds. I just can't seem to get under like that 252. I can't stay under that. I've gone under it a couple of times. I've been down to 249. That's as low as I've gotten. And then it just pops right back up again. And I'm just kind of pissed off. And I don't know if that's because I don't know what it is. Honestly, I don't. I know at some point that your body has to like stop where it's at, just kind of has to level out before it lets you lose weight again, to just kind of be like, okay, we need to adjust to where you're at before we lose more weight. And I also know I need to be more consistent when it comes to exercising, because I know when I was consistently exercising that I could tell that like my thighs were getting skinnier. I remember just looking at my knees one time and I'm like, hey, look, my knee got skinnier. Like I could see my knee instead of, So I was like, I know that it was working, and then I stopped doing it. And then I'm like, and now my leg's all fat again. So the scale hasn't changed much. So I know it's the difference between, the muscle and the fat. And, so it's going to take some time for my body to adjust to that, for the muscles to tone and to be able to give me more energy and all of those things. I know, but it's just the process of getting there. And sometimes I just get frustrated and I give up, and I should not. So definitely working on that. Don't know what the heck my hair is doing, why it drives me crazy, but it does. I know this is my squirrel moment, my possibly ADHD moment. I don't know if I have that. I shouldn't say that if I don't actually have it. I just know that I have moments where I'm just easily distracted by things. So anyway, those are my 6 areas. I think I did much better this week than I have in a while, and I am grateful to see the progress and things that are working in my life. Mostly, especially grateful to be working on the emotional and the mental side of things that I have been struggling with for so long. Doesn't mean that it's been easier, but I am excited and proud of myself for what I have done, and looking forward to doing more. So yay. And that is all I have for this week. So if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great week full of gratitude and find ways to live a healthy and happy life too.